Money 105.5 presents Money 2.0. Money 2.0. Now, Broughton on Business. This is Money 2.0.
Good morning. This is Michael Broughton, and we're with Broughton on Business. So let me give you a little bit of information about myself. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a president and CEO of Blanket Marketing Group. It's a digital marketing agency in Sacramento. I sit on multiple boards throughout the region, the Sacramento Zoo, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Arts and Business Council. And so I pride myself on being as equally committed to the business community as well as the community as a whole, of being philanthropic. And so with that, I developed this show, and this show really consists of in-depth discussions with successful business people, leaders of the community, and like-minded people in the organization that wants to discuss business trends, what's going on in the region, and how we give back to this great region that we call Sacramento. I have a very exciting show today. I have Josh Woods, who is the Executive Director of Region Builders, and so we're going to have a conversation with him in a moment and talk about some of the things that he's doing in the region. Stay tuned.
Blanket Marketing presents Broughton on Business. This is Money 2.0.
Marketing can be like trying to change a tire while driving down the freeway in a high-speed chase. Truly challenging and exhilarating. Attracting customers will be one of the biggest challenges that you will face as a business. At Blanket Marketing, they can help with highly certified, educated, and trained experts in their field of digital advertising and marketing. They specialize in social media. Did you know they control all of the ad content and trivia on IMAX theater screens? 916-329-8600. At Blanket Marketing, they've got you covered.
This is Money 2.0 on Money 105.5. Back to digital marketing specialist, Michael Broughton.
Welcome back to Broughton on Business. I am Michael Broughton, and so again, this show is about business people, entrepreneurs, and things that are going on in the community. And so we are meeting with leaders all over the community, whether they're in business or organizations, community organizations. And so I'm really happy that we have Josh Woods here from Region Builders. And so, Josh, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Glad to be here.
So, Josh, you are the Executive Director of Region Builders, which is an organization comprised of 13 industry and professional associations. Can you tell me a little bit in detail about what you do? Like, what is Region Builders?
Well, Region Builders started really in the height of the downturn for the building industry. There's a lot of different trade associations within the commercial building industry, and we all came together and looked at the fact that the market kept getting worse and worse, and we had less and less resources to really try to impact the political environment around us. So Region Builder served as a coalition really to bring all those different groups together and find a way to make policy changes to try to help drive us out of this recession into prosperity.
So let me ask you, what's the hardest part of your job? Because it is a big job. What's the hardest part?
You know, the hardest part of the job is figuring out which issue to tackle. There are so many different things. We live in one of the most regulated states and one of the most regulated regions, and it's trying to find which issue to take on that has the biggest impact on our membership across the board. And so there's been a lot of different issues that we've taken on over the years, but I think one of the biggest things we always struggle with is what's the thing that's next, because we want to keep continuing to push the ball forward and forward.
So, Josh, you're still relatively young in your career, but you do have about a decade at executive management level. How did you begin this journey, and how did you reach your success so quickly?
Well, I've always been in building industry associations. I've started with the Sacramento Builders Exchange as their political director, and eventually became their executive director, and eventually started to lead Region Builders. And so the thing I saw was we had this huge opportunity because the commercial building industry has never really worked together trying to work on issues that would help benefit the membership. So it was kind of more of a wide open opportunity where you find that niche market, which is helping commercial building, and everything touches commercial building. Every coffee shop is a commercial building, every multifamily housing is commercial buildings. And so the goal was to find ways to spur economic development.
So I know you know that I'm going to ask this question. You've been nicknamed as the smiling assassin and the most feared man in Sacramento. Do you feel that there's any truth behind these names?
Well, had a meeting with the Sacramento News and Review, and it was to talk about some of the policy issues that we've taken on. And there was some disagreements from their editorial section and us on what the role of the Sacramento Area Council of Governments was when it dealt to land use, what the role of the City Council was in directing land use dealing with big boxes. And so we got that nickname, one, because we took on issues I think that they disagreed with us on some of those issues, but I think it was mainly because we're successful, because we were able to build coalitions and provide real data. One of the things that is missing from a lot of the policy discussions around the region, around the nation, is always looking at how can we be solution oriented, how can we use data to help drive our decision making. And we've been successful because we've been able to do that. So yeah, the smiling assassin when it comes to taking out bad policies.
Okay, so now I have to just follow up with that. You're the person who led the charge that exposed Seattle billionaire Chris Hansen as the bankroller of the Anti-Kings Arena signature gathering effort. How has this revelation influenced public support of the arena?
Well, Region Builders eventually launched the DowntownArena.org coalition, and part of that effort, we eventually were able to uncover that Chris Hansen was the one who was bankrolling their effort. The Stop campaign had said that they had not spent money before the filing period, but we actually had people who had worked with them prior who really had a change of heart and had come and volunteered with us, so we knew that they had received money. So part of that process was really working through the legal channels with the State Fair Political Practices Commission and trying to unveil where the money was flowing from. So we were really happy to see that we were able to really provide transparency in the process. And yes, a huge impact on the way that voters viewed the arena. They realized that the Stop campaign was nothing more than a vassal for Chris Hansen. It's a Trojan horse campaign that's trying to take away something from Sacramento and give it to someone else.
So, you obviously have a passion for the Sacramento community as a whole, and it's just incredible. What has inspired you to become so involved in the region's growth and prosperity?
Well, I love Sacramento. It's a place that me and my wife have chosen to live, went to college here. It's a great place to raise our kids, and Sacramento has a ton of potential, but I think that there's been this gap in leadership that has really kind of helped really hold us back from what the potential is. And economic development affects everything to me. It has an impact on crime rates. It has an impact on education. Across the board, having more opportunity is something that's good for society. And so for me, it just means that's the role I can play. I can go out and be the voice and help bring people together around large policy ideas and help advocate for basically making Sacramento a world-class city.
So you are a true Sacramentan.
Absolutely.
So you're responsible organizing this political coalition dubbed as the 4,000. And you serve on the campaign as the executive director. How important is this coalition to the Sacramento Kings and the community as a whole?
Well, I think this is really important for the community because this is a broad coalition. It's bipartisan, it's regional, it's across every single demographic group in Sacramento, all of us coming together and saying, what can we do to fight for the 4,000 jobs that Chris Hansen and the outside interests are trying to take away from Sacramento? The downtown arena is going to create 4,000 jobs. That's why we named it the 4,000. It's going to create $7 billion of economic activity, 3 million new visitors downtown every year. This is going to be a catalytic project that's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for us to redevelop downtown and make it the place that it can be for the economic future of Sacramento.
So we're going to head on to a break and find out a little bit more about Josh Woods and things that he is currently doing in the region. Stay tuned.
This is Broughton on Business on Money 2.0, sponsored by Blanket Marketing.
Marketing can be like trying to change a tire while driving down the freeway in a high-speed chase. Truly challenging and exhilarating. Attracting customers will be one of the biggest challenges that you will face as a business. At Blanket Marketing, they can help with highly certified, educated, and trained experts in their field of digital advertising and marketing. They specialize in social media. Did you know they control all of the ad content and trivia on IMAX theater screens? 916-329-8600. At Blanket Marketing, they've got you covered.
Blanket Marketing presents Broughton on Business. This is Money 2.0.
Welcome back to Broughton on Business. We have Josh Woods here, who is the Executive Director of Region Builders. And so, Josh, we had just gotten into talking about this new coalition, the 4,000. If you're just now tuning into the show, Josh is doing some great things, being involved in the arena and with the Sacramento Kings. Josh, can we just recap and talk a little bit more again and some more detailed about the 4,000? How did this come about? Like, who thought of this?
Well, this is a campaign that's really led by Mayor Kevin Johnson with co-chairs Senator Pro Tem, the President of the Senate, Darrell Steinberg, Senator Ted Gaines. So we have a Republican and a Democrat, and we have a cross-section of the Sacramento community all coming together and trying to see what we can do to leverage this one opportunity we have to really redevelop downtown in a way that's going to affect future generations for Sacramento.
So obviously you've been involved in this from the get-go with the big push for the arena. Now, what made you actually become involved on that level? What sparked your interest?
Well, one day I was at the grocery store and I ran into a stop petition gatherer. That's how it really all started. And having done campaigns and elections for several years, I know that you don't start gathering petitions with paid petition gatherers unless you have, $30,000, $40,000 in the bank. And that really sparked in me kind of an interest in where they did get all this money. Eventually we found out that money came from Chris Hansen. But at that point, we didn't know. So we went to our board and we said, well, we have to do something because we want to make sure that we don't lose this opportunity to develop downtown. So we put together the downtownarena.org campaign, and that's why we push forward trying to get petition withdrawals and do things to get out the truth about who was really funding the arena effort, and that you did not have to sign the stop petition in order to have the arena be a reality. And that was one of the misinformation pieces that they were giving to voters, to sign here in support of the arena. And we went out there, and our goal was to provide a counterweight to that.
That's amazing. So Josh, to be as young as you are and to be as active in the Sacramento community and pushing various agendas that's going to benefit this region as a whole. So you recently was awarded 40 under 40 by the Sacramento Business Journal. And I know that you're far from retirement. Looking at you, I know you're far from that. What's next on your agenda? Like, what are you trying to tackle next?
Well, what I see is I want to grow what we're doing right now with Region Builders to affect a larger platform of economic development issues in our region. I think we're committed to trying to focus on what's good for the building industry, but also what's good for the community and where are the win-win situations. The arena is one of those. I think you see things coming forward like the soccer effort in Elk Grove. You see a lot of big downtown development efforts coming. And, our goal is really to see what can we do to push a future for Sacramento that makes us a world-class city.
So what's your biggest accomplishment to date? What would you say?
The biggest accomplishment to date is something that's a really, really wonky policy issue. But Sacramento City used to have this policy called council call-up. And basically what it was is you would get your project all the way through the process. You go through the staff, then you go through the planning commission, and then you'd think you're done. And then 11 days later, you get a letter in the mail that says, oh, by the way, one council member has decided that now your project has to go forward to council. So now you have to go through all the process again. It's like double jeopardy. But it was a really, really difficult thing to get rid of. And it had been a tool, really, that had been used really to put projects in a bad position politically. We'll just say it that way. So we saw it as something that was an unethical practice. And we went and on this journey to go to the council and convince them that they need to have less power in decision making and give it to their staff and the planning commission, which was not an easy push. But eventually we were able to get a very strong vote for that, and I think it's really helped Sacramento. we know that since then, there's 4 or 5 projects that immediately went through because they knew they wouldn't have this double jeopardy situation. Because for business, and you know this, certainty is a huge piece of being able to move forward and invest in something.
So, we talked about region builders. We talked about, the downtown arena. We talked about this new coalition, the 4,000. Outside of all that and being the smiling assassin, who is Josh Woods? Like, what do you do outside of all this?
Well, when I'm not working, I'm spending time with the family. I love to play music and just hang out with the friends like everybody else. It's I do spend a lot of the time. I mean, my job, what I do right now, is my passion because I think it really does impact a really large group of people, and I think it's a good thing.
I just really appreciate you coming out today, Josh. I mean, you have a lot of good things to say, and just your involvement in trying to make Sacramento a better place is just amazing. And I'm in full support of what you're doing. Yeah, you got the right stuff, man. You're making all the right moves, and so really appreciate what you're doing for the region, Josh. Thank you for coming down and talking to us today. We will take a short break, and we will be back with Rhonda Staley Brooks, the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Thank you.
This is Broughton on Business on Money 2.0, sponsored by Blanket Marketing.
Marketing can be like trying to change a tire while driving down the freeway in a high-speed chase. Truly challenging and exhilarating. Attracting customers will be one of the biggest challenges that you will face as a business. At Blanket Marketing, they can help with highly certified, educated, and trained experts in their field of digital advertising and marketing. They specialize in social media. Did you know they control all of the ad content and trivia on IMAX theater screens? 916-329-8600. At Blanket Marketing, they've got you covered.
This is Money 2.0 on Money 105.5. Back to digital marketing specialist, Michael Broughton.
Welcome back to Broughton on Business. The top of the hour, we had Josh Woods from Region Builders and talking about what he's doing there, but also particularly what he's doing with the Sacramento Kings arena movement and the Coalition 4,000 that's going to bring a ton of jobs to this great region we call Sacramento. I am really excited. I have with me today one of the greatest people in Sacramento, distinguished alumni of Sacramento State, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters, Rhonda Staley Brooks. How are you, Rhonda?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today, Michael. So,
Rhonda, you have been with Big Brothers Big Sisters since you were 12 years old.
Absolutely, 20 years. Yes.
So tell me, what's your favorite part of the job?
My favorite part of the job is seeing the faces of the kids that were making a difference. Seeing those kids grow up to be adults who are contributing back to this community. That's my favorite part of this job.
So, Rhonda, let's back up for a minute. Let's tell our listeners a little bit about Big Brothers Big Sisters. Who are you as an organization, and what are you trying to accomplish here in this region?
So Big Brothers Big Sisters has been around for over 109 years. And here locally in the greater Sacramento community, we've been here for 50 years. And we serve children who come primarily from single-parent families who have all the abilities in the world, but they need that influence from an adult mentor or maybe even a high school peer to get them to the next level.
So why do you think Big Brothers and Sisters has been such an influential program?
It's influential because we all have mentors, right, who got us to who we are today. So just imagine getting kids mentors at an early age, what a difference it's going to make in their lives.
So, Rhonda, of course, I currently serve on the board and love every minute of it and just being able to make a difference. What's the process? Because I think a lot of people get, really caught up, I'm busy, I got family, I don't have enough time. This is going to be like a 20-hour-a-week commitment that I have to do to participate, but I do want to give back. I do want to make an impression on a young person's life. What's the commitment and what's the process?
So we ask each volunteer to commit to 1 hour a week minimum. We all have 4 hours in our month to give back to a child. It's a 1-year commitment. You do have to go through a background check. So we do fingerprinting, DMV checks, we interview and we train our volunteers. That's to make sure we're getting the right people matched to these kids who desperately need the attention. But you can be at a school site for just 1 hour a week, or you can be in our community-based program for 3 hours every other week. That's it.
So Rhonda, Big Brothers Big Sisters is an organization, obviously, that relies on financial support from the community. So what's the strategy ensuring that people in the community continue to get involved? Like, what are you putting in place?
So there's lots of different strategies, but I'll make it really simple. For those who are listening, it's called the 3 M's. If you can't contribute your time, treasure, or talent, we need men, money, and marketing. So today, getting out on a radio station and telling people about our organization, that's our marketing arm. Men, we have tons of boys, over 76 boys right now waiting for a Big Brother. Sign up and be a Big Brother or donate. You can donate your clothing. We have a thrift store that we're partnering with. You can donate your money, you can donate your time. There's lots of different ways to get to the bottom end. So we put those 3 strategies in place to make sure that we're constantly getting in front of people every single day.
So Rhonda, in the past 7 years, the number of children matched with Big Brothers Big Sisters in the 6 county regions has grown from 200 to 400.
Yes.
What has attributed to that growth?
Well, first off, we took on new counties. So when I started, we were only in 3 counties. We're now in 6. So that was very exciting for us to take on San Joaquin, Yuba, and Sutter County. We made partnerships with school districts, so we were able to serve more kids in the school site system. And we just are well known. So kids are referring themselves to get mentors, which is very exciting as well.
So, being involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, the one thing I know that we've been able to put together programs to really engage the community in terms of raising funds. And so a little birdie told me that there is a particular program coming up pretty soon. Did you want to speak on that?
We have lots of great events coming up in 2014. My favorite one is the brand new one called Little Big Shots. And it's going to be where a corporation or individuals can put together teams of 10 to 12, and they will go out to Sleep Train Arena and have a shootout. So it's going to be brackets. It's really great because it's during March Madness, too, because it's kind of that basketball feel. And we are definitely a basketball town right now.
So if I want to be involved with Little Big Shots, what do I need to do? What's the first thing?
You can call our office at 916-646-9300. You can visit our webpage at bbbs-sac.org. Donations from $1,000 and above we're taking for this event. It's going to be a great event coming up in March.
So I encourage the listeners out there to pick up the phone and call Big Brothers Big Sisters right now to be involved in this program, or just to be involved in a particular fundraiser such as Little Big Shots. And we're gonna take a break, but while we take that break, make that call.
This is Broughton on Business on Money 2.0, sponsored by Blanket Marketing.
Marketing can be like trying to change a tire while driving down the freeway in a high-speed chase. Truly challenging and exhilarating. Attracting customers will be one of the biggest challenges that you will face as a business. At Blanket Marketing, they can help with highly certified, educated, and trained experts in their field of digital advertising and marketing. They specialize in social media. Did you know they control all of the ad content and trivia on IMAX theater screens? 916-329-8600. At Blanket Marketing, they've got you covered.
Blanket Marketing presents Broughton on Business. This is Money 2.0.
Welcome back to Broughton on Business. If you're just now tuning into the show, the top of the hour, we had Josh Woods from Region Builders talking about what he is currently doing in the arena movement, and also with the coalition, the 4,000. Go to the4000.org, brings tons of jobs to the Sacramento region. And so we've been speaking currently with Rhonda Staley Brooks, who's the president and CEO with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and how this organization is really impacting young lives in our region and doing great things. several events coming up. One of them is Little Big Shots. Rhonda, I just want to recap for the people that are just tuning in now. Once again, give us just a snapshot of Little Big Shots and how to get involved with that.
So we are partnering with the Sacramento Kings on an event called Little Big Shots that will be held at Sleep Train Arena in March of 2014. This will be our first time bringing this event to Sacramento. We have the full support of the NBA, which is very exciting. They're doing these in different markets across the U.S. And we will be able to bring in hopefully 100 teams that will come into the arena and do a shootout. So it's a 3-point shootout that will occur, and you'll go through the brackets. The more shots you get, the faster you get through those brackets. And our winning 2 teams will compete at a halftime show at one of the Kings games. That's amazing.
Do you think I can win?
If you buy your way through, Michael, you probably can win. I've seen your shot.
So Rhonda, in this show, we talk about marketing trends, technology, and kind of what's going on. And looking at, from a nonprofit level, how has technology streamlined the operations of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and what has been some of the notable things that you feel that it's improved?
Well, all the talk about Facebook and Twitter, it's that quick, free marketing. So I have nothing but positive things to say about Facebook and Twitter with regards to getting the message out about Big Brothers Big Sisters. That's one way that we've been able to get the marketing arm of our 3Ms out in the community. The other thing is that our national office created streamlined systems, technology, web-based programs that I can right now anywhere get into my files and be able to process our bigs and littles a lot faster. So technology improving throughout the years has made us be able to serve more children in the region.
So Rhonda, do you tweet?
I do not tweet. I do Facebook, and I do have a great company that does our Twitter for us.
Okay, should we give them a plug right now?
Absolutely. ClickSpring has been a partner of ours for 2 years, and they have really taken us from a Facebook page of 0 to 20 people to almost 2,000 people just in a year time. So we really appreciate their support.
Amazing. So Rhonda, you've been with Big Brothers Big Sisters for 20 years now.
Yes.
How did you get started? I mean, when I think about 20 years and I know your age. It's not 12, but pretty close to 12.
Right.
And so that's a long time to be with one organization, I mean, we're talking about baby boomers. I mean, they're the ones that do the 20, 30 years at a particular job. How did you get started? And you're still there. So obviously, you love what you do, but how did you get started?
I love what I do. I was actually a sophomore at Sac State, and to tell you that I love kids and that I just saw a career in working for children would be an absolute lie. My dad said, go get a job. So I found this job on the job line at Sac State, and the opportunity opened up where I became a casework assistant back in 1993 and just moved up the ranks over the 20 years and became the CEO 12 years ago.
So looking at that, looking at where you started and looking at where you are right now, what have you seen in terms of growth, in terms of how people choose to participate in the organization? What have you seen?
I think that everybody wants to give. There's just thousands of nonprofits in our community that you have to find out what you're passionate about. So my job is to find the passion for Big Brothers Big Sisters in the people. So it's not necessarily that people don't want to give, they just have so many choices. It's just kind of like a kid in a candy store, right? They're just a plethora of choices, but you got to find the one that you like, right? The one that you're passionate about. So for us, it's finding people who are passionate about kids, people who had mentors in their lives that want to be a mentor to others or be able to provide the resources so that those kids can get the mentors in their lives.
So thinking about just the younger generation, how do we get them involved in such a program?
So I would say on the end of becoming a mentor, you can be as young as 15 in some of our counties and become a high school big. A high school big gives back 1 hour a week and they mentor an elementary school child. So I have a lot of parents that go, hey, my kid is interested in volunteering. What can they do? They're 15, 16. Great opportunity for them to knock out their community service and give back.
Can you tell me one of the success stories of maybe a particular kid, or a couple of success stories that you've had throughout your years at Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Absolutely. I could tell you thousands of stories because thousands of kids have come through since I've been with the organization. But one in particular would be my one of my first matches. It was Bob and Joe. And I remember when Bob signed up, he was in his mid-50s already, had already raised his kids. And Joe was a 13-year-old kid who had been adopted. And he just needed somebody who was going to be around. It was the trust factor. He had his adoptive mom, but he had parents that weren't there for them. So Bob stuck in it. Joe didn't talk. He didn't, no eye contact that very first year. And I kept encouraging Bob, stick in it. It's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference. And a year and a half in, I remember going to a Bowl for Kids' Sake event, and they arrived, and Joe came and gave me a hug. And I remembered that moment like it was yesterday, and not that it was 19 years ago, because this was a kid who didn't trust. And by putting a mentor in his life that stayed there consistently, he was able to trust. They were matched for 6 years until Joe graduated from high school.
Oh, that's awesome. And so are they still in contact, do you know? Or
unfortunately, they stayed in contact until Joe was 21, but he ended up passing away from an asthma attack. So Bob and I were both at his funeral.
So basically, when you're looking at the program, the matches are there until they're 18 years of age,
18 or graduation,
but they can continue the relationship because it's like family.
Absolutely. Ian and Brent are still friends today. They were my very first match in '93. Ian is in we won't say his age. Brent is in his 30s, and they still get together today. Since the match, Brent has since lost his mom, and Ian has been there for him through those difficult times.
So, Rhonda, I think people think that, well, I should have got involved when I was younger. I'm too old to be involved, stuff like that. Like, I'm 60 years old, and, what am I going to do with an 8-year-old little brother? Looks strange, or I don't really know if we're gonna gel very well. Like, I want to encourage the listeners out there today that if they're listening in and know the good work that you're doing, about how they can get involved and what is the match process like. Can you speak a little bit on that?
Well, I can speak to your first question. 15 and above, and my oldest volunteer in the years I've been there was 72. So if you think 50 is old, you need to reevaluate.
That's amazing.
It's not old. He was 72 years old. He took his little brother skiing, up in Tahoe. He was active. We want you to be breathing. We want you to be a positive role model. Age does not matter. We're going to match it to a child that's a good fit. So that's the first thing. So I always laugh when someone says, well, I'm 53. I'm probably going to be more like a grandfather figure. And it's like, no, they still look at you as a big brother. And you have more time than the 23-year-old. Right. So when you really think about it, if you're retired, you have more time to give to this child. So let's just knock that one out of the age is not a factor. Okay.
There we go.
So that's the first thing. And the matching process is we want to make the best match. So you'll tell us if you want to work with a child between the ages of 8 and 12 or 13 and older. You will tell us how far you want to travel from your home. You will tell us all the matching criteria so we can make the best match.
So Rhonda, great program. You guys are doing like wonderful things. So if I'm a business and I want to get involved, is there different levels where I can get involved? Because I know you have a program that's actually in the schools right now. Can you talk a little bit about those programs and how I can get involved as a business?
So we would love to talk about that. We just started 4 new schools in the Rancho Cordova area. So shout out to the Rancho Cordova businesses. There's lots of them out there. What we would like is just the opportunity to have access to talk to your employees. Let us in. Let us tell them the good works that we're doing, and let us tell them it's only an hour a week. They can do it on their lunch hour. They can do it right after work. It's an hour. And so we want businesses to be able to bring 20 volunteers to a school. What a difference it makes when an adult comes on the campus and is mentoring that child. So we need the volunteers to come in masses. So say you're a corporation that only has 6 employees. Maybe that's your project for the year is the 6 of you will sign up to be bigs and you'll go to the school together on your lunch break and mentor a child. It's so simple and it means the world to these kids. They're less likely to drop out of school because they have someone who cares. They're less likely to skip school. They're more likely to be less disruptive in their classroom because they know they want to impress their volunteer.
Rhonda, can you speak on that a little bit? Give me a story where you've seen, a kid with a lot of problems, issues, and then this big brother, big sister came into their life and kind of where they end up and, the success in that.
Right, I'll tell you right now, there's a work in progress right now that we're in. And the little brother had a big brother who came to his school every week for 1 hour. By the end of the first year, the teachers were saying, we got to keep you because their classroom was a better place because that one child had a mentor. See, that's the stories that people don't talk about. Well, yeah, you're only helping one kid at a time. No, think about the classroom environment. If that child is disruptive in that classroom, if he's less disruptive, then that teacher can focus on the other kids in the classroom. And that's what we're trying to achieve. Take that one child that's disruptive, but also take the one child in the back of the room who doesn't talk. That's Susie, who no one really talks about because she's just there. Get her a big sister and let her blossom. See, those are examples that people don't think about when we talk about going on a school campus and making the world a difference.
So are there any plans to expand this program and to reach other schools?
Yes, right now we were in 4 just in September, and then we partnered with the city of Rancho Cordova, and now we're going to be in 4 more. So we're in 8, so we're very excited that we're in double-digit growth right now in our site-based programs. I have school districts calling me all the time wanting to expand into their schools. So that is going to be the wave of our future. Where our growth is going to come is working with the school districts there's lots of school districts in our communities that we serve that want and need these mentors on their campus.
But as businesses come in, they'll be able to help support that growth.
Absolutely. We just did a presentation at Kleinfelder in Rancho Cordova. They're a great example. 6 of their employees, and they have 60 employees, so 10% of them, they decided that they're going to do in a school, and they're going out together to do that. So that's the wave of our future, getting clumps of volunteers from one corporation and going out and mentoring these kids.
So Rhonda, you do a ton of work. A ton of work. Mm-hmm. And so when you really break it down and you think about, the financial aspect and matching a child, I know from working in the organization, working with other organizations, people like to know, how does my money make a difference? And what is that point where I can truly see it making a difference in that young person's life? So when we talk about a match and getting specific to the dollars, what does it take to make a match? What's the dollar amount that it takes to make that match?
It takes on average $1,000 to $1,200 to make one match. That's the cost to do the background checks. That's the staff time to screen, recruit, and match and support one child. So I have paid professionals that do their background checks, they do the fingerprinting, the DMV, the interviews, the training per person, per child. Also, we do the same thing on the other side to make sure that we are getting the right people in the program and that we're making the best match for the child. And then we support them. We don't just say, okay, hey, Michael, here's your little brother. Good luck. Have fun. Call us in a year. We do monthly check-ins with each of our volunteers, the parent and the child, to make sure that they're supported through the relationship.
And see, wouldn't it be amazing if we could have several businesses out there saying, hey, I want to sign up today for a match.
Yes.
I think, and I'm a business owner, and I think that businesses, we definitely try to put money back into the community, and sometimes people get overwhelmed, like, hey, I really want to give to that organization. I don't have the $10,000, $15,000 to give to them or to sponsor this big event or do this. But just knowing, on $1,000, $1,200 level, the impact that you can have in someone's life, literally for life,
Yes.
it's big. So I encourage you out there, if you have a business and you want your company to be involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, it takes $1,200 to just match a child. That's all it takes. And when you look at the bigger picture, that's pennies. That's nothing to make an impact on someone's life that's going to last forever.
Or you could put $40,000 to incarcerate the child.
Wow.
If you do the math, $1,200 today, or
that's a bargain.
Or $40,000 to incarcerate that child and rehabilitate them to put them back in the community where they won't be able to get a job. So invest in them now when they're 8 to 15 years old, instead of investing in the system. That's the impact. I would give you $1,000 versus giving you $40,000 to make a difference in the life of that one child, because that's the true cost.
Now, what about for our listeners out there that says, hey, I don't have $1,200, $5,000, or what have it be up front. Mm-hmm. How can I pledge on a regular basis with your organization? Like, how can I make that commitment to you?
I have several donors that I talk to, and I don't start out with $1,000 or $1,200. I say, give me $83 a month. And they go, $83 a month? And do it for 5 years. And now you're a $5,000 donor, because $83 a month is $1,000 in a year. And think about what you spend $83 in a month. Starbucks. I'll be real, nails, hair appointments, massage appointments. Give up one of those a month, and you got $83 a month to make a difference in the life of a child. That's the impact.
So where do you see this organization going in the future? Well, let's step back. Mm-hmm. What are your challenges as a whole? What's the biggest challenge, would you say, of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and why?
Getting more individuals to donate. I love corporations, and I'm glad that this is a business line where we're talking to the corporations, but sometimes the corporations go away. If you think about it, some of our big supporters, Campbell Soup, USAA, they're gone. They were here, big supporters, they're gone. So you can't rely on that. But if you have the individuals tied in, even if they left the community, they would still give back. I have a little brother who became a big brother, who got a job at Liberty Mutual, who lives in Boston, and he still gives back here locally because that's what he believes in. So if Liberty Mutual wasn't there, he would still be an individual donor. So that would be our biggest challenge. Individuals giving back on an individual basis, writing their personal checks. The second thing is men. I need men to man up. Let's just put it out there.
Man up out there.
Man up California. That's the message.
That's a campaign. Man up California.
That really is our campaign. It's Man Up California. Myself and the other 16 Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies in California put our money together to create a Man Up California campaign, because we all have the same challenge. 70% of our kids across the state of California are boys waiting for a big brother. Why? Predominantly single-parent mothers bringing their sons who need a male influence. So Man Up California, we need you. It's an hour a week. That's it.
And so all they have to do is phone in, send an email. What's the methods to reach you?
It's 916-646-9300. www.bbbs-sac.org. Those are the means to get in touch with us, or find us on Facebook.
So we're going to take a break, Rhonda, and we will be back with more of Rhonda Staley Brooks, Big Brothers Big Sisters. Thank you.
This is Broughton on Business on Money 2.0, sponsored by Blanket Marketing.
Marketing can be like trying to change a tire while driving down the freeway in a high-speed chase. Truly challenging and exhilarating. Attracting customers will be one of the biggest challenges that you will face as a business. At Blanket Marketing, they can help with highly certified, educated, and trained experts in their field of digital advertising and marketing. They specialize in social media. Did you know they control all of the ad content and trivia on IMAX theater screens? 916-329-8600. At Blanket Marketing, they've got you covered.
This is Money 2.0 on Money 105.5. Back to digital marketing specialist, Michael Broughton.
Welcome back to Broughton on Business. We are here with Rhonda Staley Brooks, President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters. So Rhonda, when we left off, if you're just now joining, this is an amazing organization and they do great things impacting young people. And so talking to Rhonda about how you can get involved with this organization, Rhonda, can you just do a quick recap in terms of what can someone do if they're listening right now and they say, hey, I have a little time to spare, I have a little money, how can I get involved with this organization?
So we're looking for more individual donors to give, and you can give in different ways. The simplest way is we partner with Reuse It. If everybody went in their closet and gave 2 bags of clothes that you're not going to fit again. And I have those, the size 8s in my closet, I'm never going to get back to an 8. Put that in a bag, call us up, get a pickup. That money is going right back into Big Brothers Big Sisters. So that partnership with Reuse It is absolutely one of the top ways, an easy way that every single person in our community can give back. 2 bags of clothing, clean out your closet. The second way is to give a donation, and you can do it on a monthly donation. You can do it on a corporate level, get your corporation involved, become mentors at a school site. There are just different ways we can talk to you and fit a menu that works for your organization.
Rhonda, you are truly doing some amazing things with young people, particularly in this region. And so as we're wrapping up, I want to know just a couple of things. If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would that be?
Well, can I use my strength finders?
Use your strength finders.
Absolutely. So I would say woo. I like to win others over. I would say communicator. I like to communicate and get out and tell people to get involved. And an arranger. I like to make things work. I want the puzzle to fit together.
And lastly, what do you want to be known for?
I want to be known for giving back all I got in the community. I want to be known for the person who stopped and went back to the office and we had some extra clothes and blankets and gave it to the homeless families sitting on the corner. I want to be known for impacting the lives of kids who are now adults that are giving back in their community.
Rhonda, truly amazing. Thank you very much for coming out. For those of you who just maybe tuned in, we've been talking with Rhonda Staley Brooks. The top of the hour, we talked to Josh Woods and things that he's doing with Region Builders and specifically with the 4000.org organization and building new jobs involving with the Sacramento Kings and the arena. He's doing some wonderful things there. Again, Rhonda, you're doing amazing things in the community, and I just applaud everything that you're doing and just want people to pick up the phone, call Big Brothers Big Sisters at
916-646-9300
and become a big today. And so I'm Michael Broughton. I'm a digital marketing specialist. Our organization, Blanket Marketing Group, we specialize in marketing consulting, web design, search engine optimization, and we do a ton of social media. We love social media. So if you have some of those needs, our organization can help you. Please call us at 916-329-8600. That's 916-329-8600. This is our show, Broughton on Business, and we look forward to you tuning in next week as we talk to more exciting people in the region and how they're making an impact to Sacramento. Thank you.
This is Broughton on Business on Money 2.0, sponsored by Blanket Marketing.